right. Hey everyone. I'm just seeing if it has started over here on my page, and it has. Okay. Let me just see if we've got good, decent lighting at least. And I look crooked. Let me just see if if I can make this a little bit straighter before we get going, because it feels very crooked. Okay, let's see, is that better? Hello, hello, hello. I'm just waiting because there's a delay in getting things set. My fingers are in the way. Just trying to see if I can get myself straighter because it feels very crooked. I'm not sure if that's any straighter or not. Come out a little bit. Sorry. It's hard to tell until I actually get on my lives whether or not I'm straight or if I'm not straight, and if it's just the way I'm holding the box or if it's actually that I'm not straight, my camera's not straight. So okay. That seems to be a little bit better. All right. Welcome everyone. Happy Wednesday night. And it is the second craft night that I have done. I am excited to do this project that's been sitting under my desk for probably 8 months or longer. I'm not sure when this came out, this particular kit came out, but it is something that I wanted to work on, and I just never got around to it with everything else. So this is the Make Memory Scrapbooking Kit, and it creates 12 pages of 12 by 12 scrapbook layouts, and it is a kit, so everything that you needed was in the kit when you got it. So all the adhesive, all of the papers, everything, all of that was there. Now it has moved to last chance, so it was $36 US and now it's $18 US. And so if it's something after tonight's crafting night is something you're interested in, you might want to go pick it up, because $18, and I'm going to show you that I'm making actually all of these into 2-page layouts. And we probably won't get through all of them, though I have done a bunch of pre-cutting to try and get through as many pages as I can tonight. But anyway, this is what I am going to be working on. And again, like I said, it is a full kit, and so you get the instructions and the adhesive and everything, and it gives you picture details of how to create all of this. Sorry, my daughter's texting me, of course. Anyway, I didn't choose to follow this. These create 1-page layouts. So this is a single page, this is a single page, this is a single page. So it gives you sort of the layout for 3 of them. And then the rest of them are just pictures of the individual layouts. For me, A, there's not enough pictures on here, and B, I thought that they could be created into 2-page layouts. So I have added additional paper to this. All of it's cardstock. Everything here is cardstock that I'm adding, and I have, as you can see, I've done a bunch of pre-cutting here. Hopefully you can kind of see on the side here. I've done a bunch of pre-cutting to make this faster. So I did all of that prep work, kind of like what you would do if you were going to a crop. This would be pre-made pages that I'm ready just to put together and put my pictures on. I don't have any pictures tonight, but because I didn't want to spend the extra time to try and get those pictures on, but I did want to go through the layouts. Okay, so that's what I'm going to be working on. I would love to know what you're going to be working on tonight. Again, the idea behind craft night is that you bring a craft that you want to work on, and this is your time to just finish up a project or start a new project or get ready for something that you want to do in the future. and to spend this hour and a half kind of here socializing, talking, hearing me talk a lot, and communicating. You can use the chat and talk to each other, and just have this time sort of set aside. At the end, I'll go through a couple of announcements about some things that are coming up from Stampin' Up, but I really just wanted to start in on making what I have started to put together. So I'm going to put this box off to the side here, and we're going to pull it in. We're going to pull in what we need to pull in as we are working on things. I am going to pull out my Versamats because when I scrapbook, I do like to have for the grid and for the layouts. So hopefully you can see alignment and all of those good things. I have used some inspiration from a bunch of other creatives, and I will call them out as I work on some of these layouts. I really followed them 100%, but I did take inspiration from a number of different people to create these 2-page layouts. So this first one is an inspiration from Amy Ramey, and she created the sort of a black and white layout, and I really liked that, using a bunch of pieces. I do have my photo placeholders here, so I'll set those off to the side for later. And I've taken I keep calling them Picture My Life cards, but these are Memory and More cards. They're single-sided, and we're going to use those. I've already cut up some strips. Again, I didn't go through everything that was in the packaging that came, all the pieces, but all of these pieces, there isn't anything here that wasn't part of the kit other than the extra cardstock that I added. So all of these pieces are part of this kit except for the cardstock. So that's just wanted everyone to be aware of that. All right, so I'm going to sort of put these aside. I've got a white base page, and I've got a black base page, and I've got another piece that's going to go over here on the white. So this is actually going to be a combo base page color-wise. One of the things I wanted to do, though, is I didn't want solid black. And because we have white core cardstock, I am going to just take a block that I have. This is an old, close to my heart, distressing kit that I have. And you can use any sort of sandpaper. Lighter grit probably is better so that you don't take off too much. But I really want to create, I don't know if you'll be able to see this, sort of distressed look, showing a little bit of the white through. And so all I'm going to do is I am going to go in one direction. I don't really want to have multiple directions, so I'm just lightly sanding this. I don't really want to see lines per se, so I am going to kind of vary it a little bit. And some of this is going to be covered up. Hopefully this sound doesn't irritate people too much. Kind of like fingers on a chalkboard, but oops, that got a little bit much there. You have to be careful. I do want it to be somewhat even and intentional. All right. I think that one looks good. There, and then we're going to pull this piece over and do the same thing. Again, I want it to feel distressed. And again, hopefully you can kind of see that on camera. But anyway, yeah, just using that block, I'll hold this up a little bit, and hopefully you can kind of see that distressing. Just using a light touch on the sandpaper and exposing some of that white. And then that creates then a little bit of texture that we can play around with. I am going to try and use the Stampin' Seal adhesive instead of my mono adhesive. We'll see how well I do with that. I've struggled with this adhesive, but I want to try and give it another attempt. I've learned a couple of tricks with it, which is when you use it, you have to drag it and kind of flip it to get the adhesive to release. So I am trying to use the adhesive versus buying other adhesive, but we will see how far I get tonight with it. And again, I'm adding this on top of the white base page here. And then this is going to this is its own base page, so I don't need to add anything to that. Is that straight? I'm not sure if that's straight. Yep, that looks okay. That looks pretty straight. Okay, I did get that pretty straight. Okay, so this piece is about 4 inches wide. And then we're going to add in our strip here. So again, I'm going to add some of this adhesive. Oops. There we go. I think that's the problem, is that it's hard to stop it and then get it started again. And my fingers are already dirty. May have to use a wipe and wipe it off. Let's see if I can get this going again. For some reason it's not going. Let's see. I'm going the wrong way. Okay. Oh, my fingers are super dirty. Hold on, I'm going to clean those because I have a feeling I'm going to transfer. It's just the ink from the sanding block on the paper. So take a wipe and wipe that off. All right. Hello to anyone who has joined again for craft night. Work on, this is intended to just be your craft time. And I am going to, talk about some techniques and things like that on what I'm working on. But again, it's more of a time for you to spend crafting on a project that you have and that you're working on. Hold on, I'm just seeing if I can get this to work for me. Sorry, I haven't used this very much. I thought I would give it a try tonight to see if I could get used to using the Stampin' Up! Adhesive, because I feel like I haven't given it a fair shake. But now I can't even get it back in its little case. Did I just screw myself up with that? Okay, there we go. I think I got that now. Okay. A learning curve on everything. Okay, there we go. Okay. All right, so we're going to add this here on the left-hand side. Again, try and keep myself on camera and straight. So what projects do you have that are sitting around that you need to finish? Do you have a big list of projects like I do? Because I certainly have. I always seem to have either an idea for a project or a project that needs to be worked on constantly. So I'm always curious if other people kind of are in that same boat. Again, I got some black on that white. Hopefully we can cover that up here in a minute. Okay, so we've got that. We've got our title. We've got this. Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to remember how I wanted this laid out. Okay. So I think we want to do this here with this, and then we're going to take this guy. Sorry, talking to myself. All right. And we got those. Celebrate today. The best. Okay. All right. I think I've got everything out now that I wanted to work with. So we are going to, we actually probably don't need all of this. We can probably cut this one down. So let's cut this one down. let's make this 2.5 inches. Actually, let's lay this out and let's measure first, because I want this piece here with this photo. We gotta cut down this photo placeholder. So we're gonna make this photo placeholder a little bit smaller so that we can see that that Memories and More card. Ugh, my fingers are still inky and dirty. Maybe I should have left this one for the last, as my last layout. Okay, so we're gonna put that there. And then I want to have this here. Get that out of the way. And then I want some photo, I want these guys here and here. So that's where I need to do my numbers. Like so. We're going to actually put this way over here to the right, like this. Okay, so I want this to be, you know, I might not worry about cutting that because I don't think I'm going to need this, but we could cut it. So that is roughly, get this out, how many inches do we need here? We need, okay, 2.5. We can do 2.5. 2.5 will work. And then if we need this on another layout, we've got it to work with. Okay, so 2.5 there. Okay. So I'd love to know what other people are working on, because it's always fun to find out what other people are actually. Okay, so this is not working for me. This is going to make me upset. Okay, so let's try this one and let's see if we can get this one to work better for me. This is a Stampin' Seal Plus, and let's see if we can get that one to work. Okay, so I want this to be about 2 inches from the bottom. So let's just make sure we're here. Let's do 2 inches from the bottom. Let's put this one down. I don't think I'm going to pop any of these up. I think I'm going to leave these guys flat. Okay, so 2 inches and right up against the edge on this one. And gosh, yeah, my fingers are really, really nasty, getting all the black on them. So I apologize. These are going to be a little bit messy. I definitely have to clean fingers before I move on to the next layout. Okay, then we're going to put this Memories and More card up here, like so. And then we'll add our photo placeholder that we made slightly smaller. So when I put my picture on, I'm going to want to make sure that I make that smaller as well. But we wanted to see some of that. Okay, so then we'll put this down. Okay, and line that up with the bottom here. Like so. And then this will be our journaling block for this layout. Like so. And we'll line that up with the top over here. Okay, and then we are going to trying to decide what do I want over here. So I think I want that over there. I think we'll put that there. So, and then this piece I want to cut down because I'm going to put that right in between. So that looks like that's 8 inches. So we're going to cut this guy down to 8 inches. So, and then we've got an extra piece if we need it someplace else later. Again, the nice thing is I didn't end up with a lot of scraps with this once I created these layouts. So that was really nice. Oops, see some adhesive sticking up there. Okay, so we're going to put that there. So we're going to move that. I'm going to move this off to this a little further. Uh-oh. Do have to be more careful with the Stampin' Up! Adhesive to make sure that it that you're putting it down where you want it. Okay, so so that's this side. The best. I think I want the best over there. Let's see. So I have Celebrate today, but I don't know if I like that now that I've put that together. So okay, so we're going to add this tag over here. And I'm actually going to cut this in half. I'm going to cut this in half, so we're going to take, how long is this? This is 5.5. 5.5. Let's do 5.5 this way. Is that right? Hold on. No, 4.5. 4.5. I thought that was a little bit long. Anyway, so again, I'm getting black all over my fingers, so I don't know if it's the paper. This is close to my heart paper, so I'm actually kind of surprised that it's giving me this much trouble. But anyway, it is, so I guess we'll have to make do. Okay, so this is the piece that I actually already roughed up, and so I'm actually going to sort of mirror the top of this, and I'm going to put that on top, because this is actually, I don't know if you can see it, but there's some roughing of the paper. It's not completely solid of that piece. So I'm going to cut this at, I think we'll do this at 1 inch, like so. And this is, how wide is this? This is, okay, there. Put that aside, and then I'm going to put this on top. And we're going to make our own tag. So playing around with what you have and then making your own things also it can be really helpful to expand out these kits. You know, you can do that with card kits as well as with, and I'm going to take this and see if I can mimic that angle a little bit, or if that's going to be too much of an angle. I think that's going to be too deep. No, actually it might not be. Okay, I think that'll work. I like using templates so that I don't make a mistake. So I'm just using the tag as a template to cut that off. And now I have something that's very similar to what's already there. Okay, all right. We're actually going to cut this down. I'm glad I didn't put adhesive all that way. I think we need to cut it down. It looks a little bit funny being that long. There we go. All right. Okay, so we're going to put this tag behind, like so. And I'm not sure if I'm going to use either of those. Okay. All right. So I'm going to put these guys down. I think I have to do it the other way, though. I think I need to put the bigger one down. And going to that here. And then, ugh, got stuff all over that one. See if I can get some of that off. Okay, this is too long. It's not proportionately right. It does not look proportionately right. So we're going to take this down a little bit. There we go. Okay, I think that works. Okie doke. And we're going to put, I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to put best day over here. And again, these are stickers that were part of this kit. So all of these word stickers were part of the kit. Best day. And then I have some leaves, but I need some flowers. And so I want to see where I end up at the end on whether or not I have some extra flowers. And then I was going to maybe put today over here. I do have, okay, let's just see if this works, if this fits. Yeah, that works. I think that works. And again, I do need some embellishments on this one, but I had sort of flowers everywhere in this kit that I had put in, so I'm probably going to have some extras, and so I want to hold off until I get those. Okay, so on this side, I need to put my pictures, so I'm going to do a 4x4 over here. And again, this I want to actually be equal on this side. So, all right, so we've got that one. I'm missing a 4x4. Did I drop it? Uh-oh, I might have dropped it. Okay, and then a 3x3 and a 3x3 here. And we'll put these down. And we pretty much finished that first layout. So again, I just want to make sure that these are equal because I want to butt this right up against this side here. And I will say that next time I would brush off all of this with a fine brush to get some of this black off before I did this again. I didn't think about it at the time that it would be so transferable to the piece. And I'm missing my 4x4, so I'll get another 4x4 that goes there, and then hopefully we'll have a flower cluster over on this side that I will put together. But for right now, I sort of have that first piece done, that first one done. I'm going to just see. I don't know that this is going to work. I'm going to take my baby wipes, since I have to wipe my hands anyway, and see if I can take off some of that black off of these photo placeholders, because they look really grungy. I don't like that look. Try and get some of that black off, but no, it doesn't seem to be really pulling it off. Okay, well, live and learn. Live and learn. Alrighty, so here we go. Clean my fingers off, and we are going to call this layout done for right now. So take that, and we'll put that to the side, and we'll pull out our next layout. And I think I am going to clean my hands just one more time, just so that I make sure I'm not doing any more transfer of black onto this layout. All right. Welcome to anybody who's new who has joined the live. So again, I'm a craft night. So this is meant to be a time where you can work on any projects that you have. I'm working on the Making Memory scrapbook kit that is now on sale. And I've done all the pre-cutting for this kit. I am taking the 2-page layouts or 1-page layouts and turning them into 2-page layouts. So what I have done is I've done a lot of prep work to do that. I'm using inspiration from other people as well to get to the 2-page layouts, and I'll call them out as I bring them up. Again, this is another one from Amy where she had some fun with this particular paper. And I am using extra cardstock for these layouts, but I haven't added any additional pattern paper or DSP. So this is all just adding cardstock, and that helps me extend these layouts to be from single page layouts to 2-page layouts in most cases. Now this background pattern paper, we actually got 2 pieces of this as part of the papers. So that's why I was able to use the same background paper for both sides. Okie doke. So going to do this. Do I want the light side or the dark side? I want the dark side. Again, a lot of this pattern or this cardstock is actually all of this cardstock is from my stash, my close to my heart stash. So just to be upfront, I'm trying to work my way through my close to my heart, and they're close enough in color to work just fine. I don't know. Do I want the light side or the dark side? I think I want the dark side. Okay. All right. So the big piece there is to get all this laid out, and then we can adhere it down. Probably could have cut these a little bit smaller, but that's okay. So if you're just joining, I'd love to know where you're from and what projects you have that you're trying to work on. Is there anything in particular that you're trying to finish up or get ready for, prep for maybe something you're doing this weekend? I know, like I said, I always seem to have projects in progress or ideas. I have a whole idea. My computer is full of ideas that I don't get around to, which I guess is good. But I have limited. Am I empty on this one? No. Okay. I have limited time to craft, and with my job and with a bunch of other, commitments that I have, and so I like setting aside time when I can to actually sit down and dedicate time to do this. If I don't put it on the calendar, I find that other things get in the way, whether it's, going here, going there, running errands, working on household stuff, just being a person who has a lot of activities or a lot of things going on. I don't always spend the time that I need to craft. And I buy all this stuff and I don't use it. And so that was one of my goals for this year, which is again why this project particularly came up, is that, if it's been sitting under my desk for now probably a good 8 or 9 months, it could be even a year. I can't even remember when I bought it. And I, want to use it. Do I have specific pictures for this right now? No. But the nice thing is I can then go through pictures, or if pictures come up, I can look through my completed layouts. Shoot, that did not get laid down correctly. And I can then apply the the colors based off of what the picture is. I do tend to like to make layouts, and I don't always have pictures that I can use. So I usually have a stack of layouts that I can use in the future. All right. Okay, so that side's done. Let's do the other side. before we put everything else on, because it's just sort of a mirror of what I just did. Again, I do think these are going to, they did have a nice variety of different types of potential layouts that you could use this kit for. It's a little bit different than, say, the virtual album retreat, in that it is the virtual album retreat sort of has themes, and so a lot of the layouts tend to look like they I don't want to say look like they belong together, but you can tell like it's the same paper pack or this, you know, similar paper packs, and the theme is usually, you know, carried throughout the virtual album retreat, and I like doing those. But this one is a little bit different in that it is. I'm going to try it this way with this guy. In that, you know, each of these layouts actually kind of stand on their own. They're not exactly meant to go together. They're more individualistic, I guess. So I thought that's kind of nice. I think that's a nice difference. Okay, I can definitely say I do not like this adhesive for working on small things, which I haven't used it since I started with Stampin' Up, which has been almost 2 years now. I really hadn't pulled it out and used it, but I'm trying to get better about using what I have in my stash and not buying things. And I have this adhesive there, so I thought I would pull it out tonight and try and at least use what I have, and not spend any additional money. But I can say that I'm not liking it for these small pieces, which may be why a lot of Stampin' Up people use liquid glue. But liquid glue and layouts do not go together, in my opinion. Cards, yes. Cards you can use liquid glue, but using liquid glue on layouts is not ideal. Okay, so now we've got our pieces. So again, I've got this, I've got this. Oh, did I not cut photo mats? I think I might have forgot to cut photo mats. Okay, so let's take that and do this and this. Deal with that. Got this. These guys go here. Okay. I think that's going to go over there. And it looks like I need some photo mats because I completely forgot to do photo mats. Okay, so first things first, I want to cut this guy down because I already know it's not going to fit on this, not picture my life cards, memory and more. You would think after 2 years I would have everything down, but I don't. I don't have all of these, so all of the different terms down, you know, just don't have that kind of memory, I think, anymore. I just keep forgetting. Okay, so we are going to put this down flat, and then the other one we're going to put on foam. And I want to make sure, oh, okay, let's go ahead and put this right behind that. Again, this is, I want to put this, I think, right about there. That will look good. Okay, and then we're going to put this here. Do we want it there? I might want it behind this, actually. I think I want it behind there. Okay, so we're going to do that. And we'll put this here. And And then we can put some, let's grab some dimensionals. I have asked for rolls of foam tape because I don't like taking all the backings off of dimensionals. Though I did see that there's a, we Are Makers, is that the name of the company? Anyway, they've created this little tool to take the backs off of dimensionals, but I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that either. Not off of our dimensionals, off of their foam dots, but I saw a demo of it and I was like, okay, that's kind of cool, but yeah, no, I don't think I'm going to spend money on that. Actually, I feel like we need to cut that down just a smidge more. Let's see if we can pull that up. Okay, we're not gonna do that because I think I'm gonna just mess it up if I try to do that. Okay, I'm gonna put the love up here. Get that out of my way. Get that out. Okay, and then we have another 4x6. It's gonna go on this. So again, a lot of these are because I really wanted to have more photos than just the 2 or 3 photos that that they had in the single page layouts. Even when I do single page layouts, I don't always just do a single photo. I usually do have more than one photo, even on a single page layout. So I think I just did one recently where I had a single photo. But again, it's not common for me to do single page layouts. So being able to, this needs to shift. I think we're going to actually just do 2 of these. I'll do one here, and one here. Like that. Okay, there we go. Okay, so then we're going to come over here, and this is going to frame that photo. So what I want to do with this is I actually am going to take some 3D foam tape and put that around the edges of this. And I'm going to cut it in half because I need it to be thin. Like so. Because what I want to do is I want to be able to slide this photo down in there. So it's going to allow me to put that photo in once I have it, and then I can take the adhesive off and stick it down. How are we doing on time? Oh, we're about 43 minutes in. So again, ideas, craft night. Come, hang out, grab a hot tea, a coffee, a drink, soda, whatever it is that you'd like to drink. Grab a project, work on that project, and I'm just making sure this fits with where I've put the adhesive. And I'm not putting a whole lot of adhesive, but what I'm trying to do is create a way to slide in this photo. So this is going to have that photo there, and this is going to go behind here like that. Yeah, and work on whatever project you have, whatever it is that you might need to work on. So I get extra one of those. Okay, so we're going to do that. Oh, there's my other one. It belongs on the other layout. I'll throw that over there. I had too many on this one. And, just really try to, clear out that project list that you might have. Okay, I need to grab some, I forgot to do photo placeholders for these 4x4s. So I'm just pulling out Pretty Peacock No, not Pretty Peacock. It's just, what is it? I think Close to My Heart color was just called Peacock. Yeah, just Peacock, not Pretty Peacock. But it's pretty close to Pretty Peacock on the Stampin' Up! Colors. So, is this going to be big enough? Yes, cool. Love that. Love that when that works out. Yeah, so anyway, would love to know what projects you guys are working on and what things you're trying to finish up. It doesn't have to be a paper project. It could be any kind of project that you might have that you're working on. It could be organizational as well, just spending time in your space and cleaning it up. I had to do that earlier this month. I was feeling very claustrophobic in my space, which is very, very small and is sometimes hard for me to keep clean. So I was like, things were not in its place and everything was disorganized, and I was really, really feeling the messiness, which takes a lot. I'm pretty good with messes, but this was just getting to be way too much, and I was feeling it. It was making me less excited to get in and do any crafting. I think I'm a little bit crooked here. And so it was almost becoming an impediment to actually getting in and doing something in my craft room. And so I was, I just made a decision. I'm going to just spend a bunch of time, and I was going to make sure to get my room cleaned up. And I did. I felt very, very accomplished at the end of that day. So this tag is going to slide in here so you can have journaling. And then for right now, this is also going to slide in here. And once I get a photo, I can, I might change, I might not glue this down that way. Let me think about that. I'm going to have to think about how I might adhere that, because I want to be able to get this tag in and out, but I'll deal with that once I know how I'm going to handle the photo for that one. Okay, so last piece, one last photo placeholder, and then we'll put on some titles here. Again, all of this stuff was in the kit, so all of these titles were there, and I don't want that to touch yet because I want to put these underneath. And all of these stickers were there. Again, I mostly added cardstock to this. I might have to go back and go through some of my flowers and add maybe a few more embellishments to this. And I think I can cut this in half actually, because I don't think I need it. I don't need all of that. Yeah, I think that will work. Which means I can use that other piece on something else, which is always good. Extending. You can extend a lot of these things just by cutting some things in half and using them differently. Ugh, it's all sticking to my fingers. These are really, really sticky. Okay. I'm gonna have to live with it like that. Okay, there we go. Okay, so this one we can save for something else, which is cool. All right, so I'm gonna cut this guy in half and use it for tags. Oh, didn't cut that very straight. Nope, that's not straight either. There we go. Let's cut this guy straight. All right. Okay, and we are going to add these guys here. So just a little bit of adhesive on the ends, and this is going to overlap that photo. And allow us to write a little something on that. And then we are going to add some bling. So I actually pulled out some old Close to My Heart bling. I had these gray dots, and obviously these are very, very old, but I thought that they would work really well for this layout. So I'm going to add those, and I'm going to add some of the darker ones kind of around. I might do the lighter ones actually. Let's do some of these lighter ones here. Maybe here and up here. And then let's put a couple over here. Like so. And let's see. Let's see. Maybe put one more down here. Okay. All right. I think that'll work. I think that works. Okay. All right. So that's layout number 2 from the Making Memories. Making Memories. Okay. Hopefully you guys can kind of see that. Again, just paper. Just a lot of simple paper. Okay, so that's layout number 2. And how are we doing time-wise? Okay, we can probably get through 2 more layouts. Again, I took a 12 single page and created, oh gosh, I don't even know. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, it looks like I got 11. I got 11 layouts from that 12-page single. So didn't quite double it, and I might have enough left over to do another one. So anyway, again, trying to work through my projects. This has been sitting under my desk now for almost a year, and the whole goal of Craft Night is to work on a project and to actually get things done, whatever that project might be. It doesn't necessarily have to be a project. All right, so this particular one is actually, I don't know who inspired this one. She didn't put her watermark on it. So this one I'm actually going to use up these. Again, this was a set that we got two pages of the same. You could actually, with this one, split this in half, but I decided not to. So I decided to cut 2 strips of white instead of using white as my base page. And that was just a decision I decided to do. And like I said, if I used white and cut this down, then I would probably have the ability to make another layout from it. But again, sometimes you have to weigh, is it worth another layout, or is it easier just to finish with what you had? So anyway, I am choosing to not conserve paper and to actually just build this on top of the base page here. Okay, so let's get this lined up so we can try and get this white piece straight. Love to know where you're from if you're just joining us, and what projects you have that you could be working on tonight. Again, this is my 2nd month of doing a monthly craft night. Sorry about my head if you're seeing that. And my goal is that I carve out some time for me. I carve out some time to do some crafting, and that I get a project done. And again, that project can be any type of project. It doesn't have to be a crafting project even. It could be, paying your bills and just listening to you ramble. or it can be cleaning up your craft room or your space, or prepping, printing out pictures for something if you're trying to do a project later in the week, or over over the weekend. And so the whole idea is just setting aside the time to work on something that maybe you wouldn't have done if you didn't put it on your calendar, which tends to be what happens to me. Other things come up, and then I don't end up working on something that I really wanted to get done. Or that, I didn't give myself enough time to prep for something that I should have. So, just once a month commitment, hanging out and working on a project, or 2 or 3, depending on your need. Shoot. I know I should always work from the bottom to the top because I can't see the top. Does that happen to you? And again, I apologize if my head is getting in the way. Even with all my lights on, I sometimes get a glare or a shadow, and it makes it hard to see. I actually think I need more lights. Okay, so we'll put this one down on the other side. Alrighty. Okay, so then this guy, this guy is way too near for me to use that Stampin' Seal. I need to use my Tombow. Like I said, I wish the Stampin' Seal worked better for me, but I can tell the things that I didn't like when I first used it a year ago, or 2 years ago now, almost 2 years. Because I guess it was March-ish that we found out. God, it's hard to believe. Time flies. It really does. We've got a big trip coming up. My daughter is in the Galapagos. I don't know why that looks so much longer. We may have to trim that off. My daughter's in the Galapagos, and we are heading there not this weekend, but the following weekend for 7 days. Really looking forward to that. It's a place I never thought I would, go to per se. I had wanted to, but never really thought I would make the effort to go. And I'm super excited that I may get the opportunity to go. Because it's really a special place, and it's really exciting to be there with my daughter. She's been there now for a little over a month, and so she's kind of got the lay of the land. And so that's it's going to be fun to have her be a tour guide a little bit. We're going to a couple of the islands. She's on Isabella. And we are going to be on Isabella, and they're having a big festival one of the weekends we're there, so that'll be fun to get some really cultural. She was there for Carnival 2 weeks ago, I guess that was now, and she was so funny. She said, "Mom, why don't we have Carnival in the States?" And I said, "Well, we don't have Carnival. We have Mardi Gras." And Mardi Gras is Carnival, but it's not really celebrated here in California. And I don't know, I wonder if part of that's because we have Chinese New Year, and that's a big deal. So having Carnival right at this similar time of Mardi Gras, I'm just wondering if that's, I don't know. Wonder, anyone know why we don't celebrate it outside of New Orleans? That's be interesting to find out why if there's any other places that celebrate Carnival or Mardi Gras outside of New Orleans, Louisiana. Because we seem to like to have other countries what is it? Not we like to celebrate other countries' festivals, and so the fact that we don't celebrate Carnival seems a little bit odd. When she mentioned it, it was like, yeah, that does seem a little bit different. Okay, so I am just placing down my photos here, and got that guy there. Okay, so just making sure I've got everything sort of in the right place, and we'll go ahead and start putting these guys down. There we go. I think I want that. I want to grab this because this guy is going to go here, and I want it to be. Okay, so I think I want that like that. Okay, I think that works. Okay, and then we got this guy. Move that to 7 and 11. Okay, and then we're going to pop this up. I'm going to just pull out my foam tape. This is going to be a lot faster and easier for me to use my foam tape. All right. Doing a time check. Okay, we're at 6 o'clock. Yeah, I might be able to get through one more after this. That's not too bad. We kind of got through a good, what I hope is a good number of layouts. I do think doing the pre-prepping was helpful because I could actually just go through. It's usually something I'm not great at, is doing a lot of prep before, but I kind of treated this like a crop in that I was thinking, okay, if I was going to do a crop, what might I need to pre-prep so that I could make stuff and it would be faster and easier. And I wouldn't have to keep going back to my stash. That's one of the things I like, having crops at my house, because then I don't have to think about it. I can just come into my craft room and grab what I need. So that's, I think, the lazy way to do things. But I have friends come over and they crop in my garage, and I can just go, oh, I need that, or oh, I need this, and I don't have to think about what I have to actually pack to take to a crop. So, but this was definitely a project that I could have pre-prepped and taken to a crop very easily, and spent a number of hours putting these all together. Okay, so we got that guy, and then we have one more over here. And then we can do our embellishments. So that, again, we've got this this frame, which is going to hold that. So again, I think we're going to do the same thing that we did on the other one. Cut this in half, and then create that around the 4 sides at the very bottom, so we can slide that in. And yeah, so welcome to Craft Night. If you've just joined, the idea behind this is that you find a project and you work on that project. You can chat with us in the chat, tell us where you're at, what you're working on. This project that I'm working on is the Making Memories kit that I have turned into a multiple page layout. So the way it was designed was single page layout for 12 layouts, and I'm making them into 2-page layouts. So and go here. Down a little bit. Okay, then this is we're going to take off 2 of these sides. Yeah, we'd love to know what you might be working on. Again, the idea is just setting time aside so that you can work on something. Whatever that something is, whatever it is that you need to get done, whether it's an organizational project or if it's a actual prepping for a project, or maybe you're trying to get something done and out from underneath your desk. So that's kind of what I've done. Has been sitting under my desk for quite a while, and so I really wanted to get it out of the box and get it completed. And so I did a lot of the prep work over the last week to get all the pieces cut, all the pieces laid out, and be able to do assembly here tonight. So again, taking time to craft sometimes is hard, and putting it on the calendar and spending a little bit of time on it one afternoon or one evening or whatever time you can spare. I think it's good to take time and do something that you enjoy doing, whether that's painting or crafting or crocheting or whatever it is that you enjoy. I think you should make time for, and I know sometimes it is hard to make time for things in people's lives, but I always feel like I've spent the money on all of these supplies, and I really want to make sure that I am using them. So that is the reasoning behind Craft Night, and would love for people to join and work on whatever they want to work on. Again, this is not intended to be high pressure. As I work through some of these projects, I will talk about techniques and things, but again, I'm just babbling at this point. you know Not saying anything overly important. It's just a little bit of talk to fill the quiet space. Guess I could put on music. That might be another idea for a future one. I'll have to think about that. Would that be interesting for somebody? Just to come and have music and watch me craft? I don't know. That might be a little bit too boring. Might be a little bit too much. Though, like I said, I'm not exactly being a great orator of interesting information right now either. So, I don't know. Okay, so we're going to take this and put that here. And I think we're good on that one. Okay, so I'm popping this guy up. This is the worst part, is watching people put foam tape on stuff. Nothing more boring. Well, paint drying probably is more boring than that. Okay. Okay, I'm going to leave those other 2 with their adhesive pieces on so I can slip my picture underneath there. So that's all good. Okay, and then let's put adhesive on this guy. Oops, we want to punch that guy out. Let's put some adhesive on that. And cut this in half. Anyway, would love for people to introduce themselves if they're willing. Say where they're at, what kind of project you're working on, anything you need help with. Happy to answer questions. I am trying to monitor the chat. I am by myself, so I don't have a moderator. It's just me. But yeah. just hoping to create a little bit of space for people to take a breath, think about different things, space from life, right? Because life is sometimes heavy, and so it's always good to find a place where you can think about other things. All right, so this we're going to put it, let's see, I think I need a piece right up here at the top. Let's put a piece up here. Right, yeah. Make sure I got it on the right side. Okay. Trying to make sure it's not going over the page there. Okay, I think that works. Okay, just like that. Okay. All right. And now we've got our saying. So lovely. Put over here on the left. Again, all these stickers came as part of it. So all these titles and words are all part of this kit. And for $18 US right now, pretty good deal. If you just add some cardstock to it and some imagination, you can get 11 or 12 layouts, 2-page layouts out of this, just with some extra cardstock, which I was able to get 11 layouts from this. Oh shoot, it's sticking. These are really delicate and super sticky, unfortunately, or fortunately. And so I'm getting them stuck on everything. Really sticky to my fingers. Hold on, I'm going to stick that down on my all-purpose mat. All right. Gotta do a time check. See if I have time to do one more. Okay, this one's giving me difficulties. Usually they pop out so easily. I don't know why this one's being difficult. But I don't want to have all these little pieces in here. You know, when someone's going to say, use the pokey tool. Why aren't you using the pokey tool? Do you ever do that when you're watching videos where you're screaming at people? No, it's right there. Do you see it? It's right there. I've done that on some videos that I've watched where people can't find what they're looking for, and you can see it right on the screen. I know. Okay, so hopefully I don't tear this as I try to put it down. I almost just tore that. Okay, I'm trying to get these pieces off of my fingers. Okay. Let's see what we can do here. I don't think I'm going to be able to move this now that I have this down, so hopefully it's in the right spot, because it is super sticky and it is super thin. So I don't really have a lot of options there. Okay, well, that's where it's going to go. Hopefully I got it in the right spot because it is not coming up. Okay, and then we've got this one, which is Smile. And we're going to put that right underneath. Oh, good. That worked out perfectly. Okay. There we go. Okay. Get these little bits off of my table so they don't stick to something else. All right. Anything else to add to this one? I think that was it for this one, except for some bling. Adding some bling. Nope. those aren't the right ones. I'm just going to see if I can quickly find something that will work. I have lots of bling. I buy lots of bling and then I don't end up using it. I've tried to reduce my bling my bling purchasing. I'm just seeing if I can find something really fast. But I'm not seeing anything that I think will work. No, don't like that. All right, I might have to add bling afterwards and go through and do some no, don't think that works. Okay, I think we're going to do bling afterwards because I don't want to spend time. But yeah, I think I'm going to add a little bit of bling to this. And then this one is done. So what time are we at? 16. Oh, shoot. I don't think I can do another one. But anyway, here's layout number 3. That's layout number 3. Let me just look at this next layout and see if there's one that I can do quickly here. This one I might be able to do quickly. Okay, let's do this one. This one has some paper tears on it, which were kind of fun. And then after this, I'm going to talk a little bit about some announcements, if you want to stick around. So there's a bunch of announcements that came out yesterday, and I thought I would quickly run through them at the end here. Okay, so this was, this one I, again, added some cardstock to, we've got a couple of different things here, but we had this paper, these 2 different papers, and so I did some paper tearing on these to add them, add some interest to it. So this is a Janet Guillory, Gilhooley. She's out of Australia, and she came up with this one. And I really liked it. I tend to love colors like this, and so I'm always drawn to like these blue, greens, and cool colors, and so I really actually I want to see where I want to put this before I put this down, because I know I'm going to have a hard time lifting it up, and I do want it fairly high on my page, but that looks good. Okay, so we're going to do that. I'm going to do this. We're going to slide this guy underneath. Anyway, so all I did was do paper tearing. I took the one sheet of both of these, and I just tore one of it, this one in half, that I'm working with right now, and then I want to come down a little bit farther. And then I tore the other one essentially in thirds, and I'm using the last piece of this on another project. Okay, so let's get this one down, and we're not going to put any adhesive here at the top, so we don't have to worry about that. So again, same thing, we're just going to lay this. Like I said, I think this one will be relatively quick to get put together. And I say that, and of course then I can't get anything laid down correctly. Anyway, so this one, and then we'll talk a little bit about what's going on with Stampin' Up. Stampin' Up's made a whole bunch of announcements, like I said yesterday, and I tried to organize them in a way that would make sense for people today. I'll have to make a blog post about it on my blog, because there are a lot of things that are going to be oh, I shouldn't say that. There's not a lot of things that are going to be changing, but there's some, there's some major changes coming from the perspective of catalogs and things like that. So I do think it's important to call that out so that people know that things are going to be a little bit different next year. Okay, so I'm just trying to get these lined up in the right spots. Oops, dropped one. Okay, so this is going to go here. And I like the idea of tucking the pictures kind of underneath, almost like they're sitting in the waves. I love that idea that Janice put together. So I thought that was really fun, kind of different. And then we're gonna do 3 of these guys over here, like so. And we're gonna make a tag out of this one. Make your own tags. Didn't have enough tags in the kit, so I thought I could make my own. How are we doing time-wise? Okay, we're still doing pretty good on time. Okay, so I don't have, okay, we're gonna cut this. I'm not good at cutting. I have determined that that is not something I'm very good at. But we will do this and see if we like it. Okay, so then I have to flip that over so it matches the other side. You have to do it, you have to flip it over so that it mirrors. If you don't do that, which is something I always struggle with, I always forget to do that. But there we go. Okay, so we've got that one, and then we're going to do the same thing on this one. I'm going to add this little piece here. Did I run out of adhesive? No. Okay. It's just not wanting to cooperate with me. So we're going to do that on this one as well. We're going to do a trim here. And then flip it over. And cut it on this side. This one looks better. This looks more proportional than the other one did, but that's okay. There we go. Okay, so those two. I feel like I need to cut off this guy here. Kind of like I did on the last one, because it doesn't look very proportional. There we go. Okay, better. Alrighty, and so we're going to then tuck these two behind here, like so. I'm just laying this all out so that I have a good feeling for where things are going to go before I start putting things down again. Okay, this is us. Just want to check if I want to change this. I don't think so. I think that is that. Okay. I might use this one. We'll see if I've got space for it. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead. We're going to put this one down, but we're not going to do adhesive at the top because we want to slide those little pieces under so that we have journaling spots. And I want to make sure I'm not putting that down too far. Okay, so these are going to slide in like that. Then we'll put these guys down. And let's make sure that we are straight so that we do not lay our pictures down crooked. How many times have I done that? Lots. Lots and lots and lots. It is something I do frequently because my paper goes askew and then everything is askew on my page. All right, so almost done with this one, and then what I'm going to do is talk a little bit about some of the changes that were announced to demonstrators yesterday, and do a sneak peek of the next product of the month. So, all right, so we're going to put that guy there, like so. And then on this side, we're going to put this guy down Nothing's going underneath it, so we can put adhesive everywhere. And slide that down in, like so. And this layout is almost done. I actually love this layout. I feel like I have a lot of pictures. It's kind of the sea pictures that I can do from Half Moon Bay. Really think I can find some of these cool grays when we have foggy days that will really go nicely with this this piece. Let's just see. I don't know. This may be too long of a title. No, actually I can go like this. I think that will work. Just like that. And then I'll probably come in with, I'll see what I've got left. I might add something else on that side and then add some bling on this side. But there we go. Did pretty good. That one did go fast. So hopefully you can see that. Just using some paper tearing the base pages and then leveraging it across 2 pages. All right, so that is layout number 4. So we did 4 layouts. Okay, so I did want to quickly talk about some new things. So Painted Illusions is the current product of the month. This is available until next Tuesday or next Monday. So what is that? March the 2nd is when this product of the month will not go away. I don't think they're sold out of it, so it would still be available if you haven't already bought it. And again, product of the months are if you buy $75 worth of product in the US, you can buy this for $5. And so February's product of the month is this Painted Illusions paper. It is really, really pretty. I did get it. It is really, really pretty. We got a sneak peek a couple days early, yay, of the next product of the month. So it is a stamp set, Notes of Spring, and it's a stamp set that has bunnies and ducks and or geese, I'm not sure, and deer, and then it's got a couple of sayings, especially for you, thanks, a little note of thanks and happiest birthday wishes. And it's got a two-step stamp. So you've got the outline and then you've got the inside, and it's hard to tell on this printout, but it's textured. So it's not a solid inside. You can kind of tell on the bunny rabbit there or on the flowers there. So that's a really cute one. So that's going to be March's stamp of the month. All right, so the next announcement is there is going to be a change in the catalogs. So we have had annual catalogs that go the whole year from May until April, and then we have had mini catalogs released 3 times, I can't remember. It seems like there's a lot of catalogs. I'll just put it that way, as someone who is fairly new to Stampin' Up. And then we have online exclusives. They have decided to make a change for this upcoming year, that they are going to do away with an annual catalog, and they are going to put out 3 catalogs for the year. The catalogs will be about 84 pages each. It will include standard product, like adhesives and cardstock and inks and things like that in each of the catalogs. But they are going to go from May until August, September to December, and January till April. And those will be more like seasonal catalogs, so we'll have seasonal stuff. And there are things that will continue to be available even when the catalog retires. Just because it's not in print doesn't mean that it's automatically going to be retired. It's really going to be based off of sales. So again, the big takeaway is that there will not be a single annual catalog, that there will be 3 catalogs starting in May, and they will go for the 4-month duration. We will still have online exclusives that will be happening as well. That is not changing, and those are strictly online. The other thing that is happening is there is going to be a full color refresh going on in 2027. So that is a change that they do about every 3 to 5 years. They do a color refresh of the whole color suite, color line. My understanding is 16-ish colors will retire, new colors will come in based off of that refresh. But as part of that refresh, they are changing the pads. So they are changing from the style that they have had for quite a while, which is this style where you have this slide mechanism and a foam pad, which is what you see here. So that's the style that they have had for a number of years. And they have decided, again, that they are going to change this style. So they are going to move to the Close to My Heart style. So they bought the patent from Close to My Heart for the magnetic pads. These magnetic pads, again, are very simple to open, very simple to close. They can stack on each other and they're magnetic, so they can stick together. And they are going to start introducing these starting with the 2026-2028 in colors. So the new pads will only be starting in May with the 2026-2028 in colors. And then after they are done, after they figured out their color refresh, and actually they probably already figured out their color refresh, they are in the process of switching over manufacturing to the new style, to this magnetic style. And all of the new colors that are part of the refresh and all of the existing colors that are staying will move to this new style in 2027. I don't know if it's going to be a rolling or if it's going to be something that happens by the end of 2027. That wasn't really very clear. But there is a color refresh coming next year, and the stamp pads will be rolling out starting with the in colors and then rolling to the new, through the new color refresh. If you, and the last thing is that's important is that the pad is going to change from the foam pad to the felt pad. So again, they're going with the Close to My Heart design and the Close to My Heart pad style. So the felt pad has a texture on it. It holds more ink. It doesn't leak. And it also doesn't have as many issues with color reaction that they have found with the felt pads that, sorry, the foam pads that they have currently. So even though the foam pads hold color well and ink up well, the problem is they've had issues with the color changing, the chemical reaction with the foam pads, and they'll have less of that problem with the felt pads that Close to My Heart used to have. So again, a lot of different changes coming with this, but this is a rolling change to change over. And if you have colors that you like in the old style, keep them. There's no reason to replace it. No reason at all. Use it up, use up your re-inkers, use it all up, and when you finally run out of ink, then you can think about switching over. I would not do this as something that you need to do a switch over right away. Now, I'm not sure if I can tell you the new ink colors. One of the new ink colors is going to be in the March release that's coming up, which is Hydrangea Hue. You'll see that in the paper pack that is coming out, which is this online exclusive paper pack, and this is called Delicate Dreams. And we already know Hydrangea Hue is one of the new in colors that is part of this paper pack. So that's a little sneak peek of one of the colors. I don't know if I can tell because the other colors are Secret Sea and Bronze. So yeah, so the Secret Sea is the inside, and this is the Hydrangea Hue. So so you can kind of see it on there. So anyway, we know that that's one of the new in colors. They did tell us the other in colors, but I'm not sure that I am allowed to tell you what they are, so I'm not going to do that tonight. The other change that's going to happen is every time we have an annual catalog, we usually see a price increase. And the price increase is going to happen because of production costs and some other things going on, obviously, in the world. And so there is a set of items that are going to end up seeing a price increase, including the ink pads. They're going to go up to $14.95, I think is the number for the new ink pads, from the $9 they are right now. But the Other things that are going to have a price increase are the Stampin' and Emboss products, heat tools, scoring and cutting blades, select coloring tools, storage, adhesives, some papers, including envelopes, and basic white note cards, some designer series papers, the classic Stampin' pads and refills. So again, just said that, the Stampin' blends, and some embellishments, twines, and threads. So there are going to be increases in these categories that you will see in the new catalog. All right, everyone. I went 5 minutes over. But hopefully some of this craft night was interesting to you. Again, lots of changes coming, lots of new things. I will finish putting together all of my all of the rest of the pages that I created, and I will do a quick little craft night video, finished craft night video, up hopefully in the next week or so, similar to what I did last time from our last craft night. The next craft night is going to be in March. I'm not sure of the date. I can't remember, but it'll be towards the end of March. I can't remember if it's the third Wednesday or the fourth Wednesday of March, because I am going to be out of town until the 17th, so it might be the fourth Wednesday of March. All right, everyone, have a great evening. Thanks for joining me, and I hope to see you on the next craft night. Bye.